What is bail? Bail क्या है? In the simplest language, bail is not about proving innocence or guilt. It is simply a way for the courts to say, we trust you, you will come back for your trial, so we will let you stay free until then, in order to keep the society safe and the evidence intact. It's a guarantee, often in the form of money, bond, or a personal promise that I, the alleged accused, ensures the court that I will appear in the court whenever it is required. Now we have seen what is bail. What we need to understand here is that why do we have bail or the concept of bail at the first place? What's the relevance or significance of bail? Bail exists because our legal system is based on the core principles of natural justice. That is, innocent until proven guilty. Now, in order to understand this, see, if we keep every accused person in jail until trial, we would be punishing people before even proving that they have committed a crime. So, the bail balances two things. Number one, the right of the accused to freedom and dignity. Number two, the need of the society to ensure justice is not obstructed. Now, let's understand types of bails. There are different kinds of bail in India. Basic are the three types. Number one is regular bail. After a person is arrested and sent to jail, they apply for bail to be released. Second is interim bail. It is a temporary relief until the court decides on a regular or a anticipatory bail. Then comes anticipatory bail. This is a preemptive bail. If someone fears arrest for a non-bailable offence, they can ask the court for anticipatory bail, so they don't get arrested in the first place. Now, for this we need to understand bailable and non-bailable offences. Law divides offences into two categories. Number one is bailable, number two is non-bailable offences. So what are bailable offences? Bailable offences are usually less serious offences where bail is a right. The police or the magistrate must grant bail if conditions are met. What are non-bailable offences? More serious crimes like murder, rape or terrorism. Here bail is a right but not an absolute right. So it becomes a discretion of the court. Based on the circumstances, the court can grant bail. Now let's look into the procedure of how courts decide that whom to give bail and whom not to give bail. How the court decides on bail. Courts usually look at, number one, the seriousness of the offence, whether the offence is bailable category or a non-bailable category. Number two, the chances of the accused running away. Number three, chances of tampering with evidence or influencing witnesses. Number four is health, age or on humanitarian grounds. So here we understand that it's not about the wealth or fame in principle, but in practice we usually come across this. Here is where things get messy in India. Bail is often linked to money. Rich and powerful accused manage to walk out, while poor under trials rot in jail. Over 75% of India's prison population are under trials, people who are not yet convicted. Sometimes bail itself becomes punishment as trial drags on for years. You remember I told you about that you need to sign a bond, and here that particular thing creates inequality. Now, after going through this, we can understand one thing, that bail cannot be a loophole to escape justice. It is a safeguard to prevent injustice. The real challenge for India is to make sure it's applied fairly so that the freedom is not just for powerful but for everyone. The Supreme Court has time and again said bail is the rule and jail is the exception. This particular principle or this particular thing stems from the principle that the person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Now, let's understand the jurisprudence behind the bail. Presumption of innocence based on natural justice theory. Rooted in Blackstone's maxim, it is better that 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent suffer. Example, in state of Rajasthan versus Balchand, 1977, Justice Krishna Iyer observed that refusal of bail should not be punitive. Number 2 is social contract theory, propounded by Locke and Roos. Citizens give up some freedom for collective security, but the state cannot arbitrarily deprive that liberty. Bail acts as a check and arrest may be justified, but prolonged custody without trial violates this contract. Number 3 is utilitarian theory by Bentham. It says that law should maximize happiness and minimize harm. When we look at the data given by NCRB in 2023, over 77% of prisoners in India are under trials. Most spend more time in jail awaiting trial than the sentence they would have received if convicted. This creates an unnecessary social harm. Number 4 theory to be understood over here is a constitutional morality. Article 21 of the Constitution of India protects life and liberty. Bail denial must pass the test of just, fair and reasonable. Article 14, equality before law. Selective granting of bail violates this. Article 19, 1D, freedom of movement. Bail restores the right until the guilt is proven. Now, we will see two different examples of how exactly the concept of bail is applied. The first case we are going to look into is the case of Umar Khalid. Charges UAPA IPC section 147, Rioting. 148, Rioting with weapon. 120B, criminal conspiracy. 124A, sedition, and etc. Nature of the charges here are non-bailable, especially under UAPA. Under section 43D, clause 5, UAPA, bail can be denied if the court sees prima facie evidence of guilt. Now, what is happening in this case? In this case, the alleged accused along with the other alleged accused is in jail since 2020 and the bail has been denied repeatedly even though the trial has not yet started. Now, why this particular case seems very problematic? Number 1, it violates the presumption of innocence which we have talked about earlier. Transforms under trial detention into punishment. The balance. Denies the protection given under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Now let's look into our other example, the example of Ram Rahim Singh. In this particular case, the conviction and charges are rape, convicted in 2017, murder conspiracy, castration of followers. The nature of charges here are heinous, non-bailable, post-conviction. Parole bail should be extremely limited in these kind of cases according to whatever we have learned from the books of law. Now, what is the reality in this particular case? What is happening? What is the current situation in this particular case? Despite being convicted, Ram Rahim has been granted bail multiple times. Now, why this particular case becomes problematic? Defies Article 40, that is equality before law. Ordinary convicts languish without parole, but here a convicted rapist gets bail very easily. Undermines the deterrence of law by letting convicted offenders enjoy liberty. And here exists the greatest contrast. Bail deserved but yet denied in the case of Umar Khalid, who is under trial, not convicted yet and still rotting in jail from past 5 years. In the second case, the bail is totally undeserved but granted to Mr. Ram Rahim Singh. He is a convicted rapist and still enjoying liberty at will. This inversion of justice shows that bail has shifted from being a constitutional right to a political privilege. Now, let us see the bigger picture, why this actually matters to all of us. It highlights the under trial crisis. Over 3 out of 4 prisoners in India are under trial. Many booked under stringent laws like UAPA, NDPS, or sedition are languishing without conviction. This also sheds light on the very disturbing concept of selective liberty. Critics, dissenters, marginalized are often denied bail, while politically influential or wealthy individuals secure it very easily. And then ultimately it leads to fall of justice. When bail becomes arbitrary, it erodes trust in the courts, violates constitutional morality, and fosters authoritarianism. I would like to end this video by saying that bail was designed as a shield of liberty under Article 14, 19, and 21 of the Constitution of India. But in practice, it is being turned into a weapon of discrimination. Umar Khalid's continued detention and Ram Rahim's repeated paroles are not just legal stories. They are mirrors showing us how far India has drifted from the principle that bail is the rule and jail is the exception.